How's it going, everybody? My name is Alpine Hippie, and we're going to be covering a little bit of anime today. Now, it's no secret that I like myself some anime. This isn't the first anime-themed video that I had on my channel, but today we're going to be doing a direct review of a recent anime that came out. So, if anime isn't your cup of tea, stick around. You might learn something. It's a really good medium, and I'm a pretty easy gap to bridge it. And if you do like anime, then this is your kind of video, absolutely. And without further ado, the anime that I am going to be doing a review of is JoJo's Stone Ocean Part 2. Now, for those of you who don't know, JoJo's Stone Ocean is the 6th arc in the JoJo's Bizzare Adventure anime/manga. This particular season revolves around the protagonist Jolene Kujo, the daughter of Jotaro Kujo, who is probably the main antagonist of the series. Now, I really like this season. Jolene is a phenomenal lead. It is the first major female protagonist of the series, and she just knocks it out of the park. Just quick spoiler alert for Part 1 in particular. I'm going to be going over a lot of points that are covered in Part 1, so I'm just going to be assuming that you've seen that, given that it's been out for almost a year and a half now. Now, the beginning of Stone Ocean sets off with Jolene being framed for a hit and run that she doesn't commit for her boyfriend at the time. She finds herself in Green Dolphin State Prison, which is a fictional prison in the state of Florida that resembles Alcatraz. Now, before we break down, kind of the important parts of Season 2 and, my feelings on them, I want to give you a quick 10-second rundown of what the major powers are in this show if you aren't familiar with JoJo's Bizzare Adventure. Now, here's your 10-second review. In JoJo's Bizzare Adventure, it first starts off with a power called hasnt. Hasnt is used by the early characters in the show, but is quickly abandoned by Season 3. In Season 3, the power called stands is introduced into the show. Stand themselves are ghost-like ephemeral beings that attack at the command of the person. Stands all wield different abilities, some more mental, some more attack-based. And there you go. Hopefully that was actually 10 seconds. If it was longer, I very much do apologize. Jolene acquires her stand after she gets inside of prison. Her dad sends her the arrow that gives you this power, and she acquires her stand right then and there. Now, the hard thing about reviewing this particular anime is that the anime itself is phenomenal. Part 6 is revered as one of the best in the series by most people, and there are very few holes in the actual animation and the show itself, in my opinion. Where the problems lie is that Netflix does not know how to market and release anime.
Oh my god.
I really wanted to give Netflix a fair shot on this. I wanted to believe that they were going to take this franchise that I love and do something good with it, but sadly I was mistaken. The main problem being is that fans like anime released weekly. We like waiting for that weekly release so we can look forward to it. So when Netflix purchased the series, everyone was very concerned that they were just going to release it in bulk. And that's not exactly what they did, but if you ask yourself, did they listen to fans? The answer is no. And if you're wondering, did they do something that nobody asks for and helped nobody? The answer is yes. Just to give you a brief rundown of what they did, they released the show into multiple episode part bursts. So, part 1, they released 12 episodes of it, which was fine, I guess. It was a good start to the show. It left on a really, climactic note and had a major battle between the main antagonist of the show and Jolene, which is exactly what I guess anyone would want at a hiatus of a show. So I wasn't exactly not optimistic about how they were going to handle this second release, but the main problem was that I thought they were going to close off this season with this second part with a longer episode release. That was just probably my problem. I didn't do the research. They said they were releasing part 2, and I guess I just assumed that they were going to finish off in a really big way. And the thing that really killed it for me is that they started this part, I guess you could say, with the non-protagonist's arc being heavily focused on, which is, I guess, fine, but it kind of was a weird place to start when you're trying to, pick up some momentum where you left off with, Jolene, who is the main protagonist of the show. And another thing they kind of did wrong, in my opinion, is that with this part, most of the fights were mental battles. There weren't a lot of physical action going on. It was mostly just people in their respective location commanding their stands in a very mental chess kind of way, with attacks landing as the people would either succeed or fail in their strategy. And don't get me wrong, those are some of the best stand battles that we've seen in the show. My personal favorite stand battle in the entire show is the gambling stand battle in Season 3 in Egypt.
俺のレイズの権利がまだ済んでないぜ。
だともうかけるものはな。
レイズするのは俺の母親の魂だ。
何？白目を向いている。
I love it. It's such high stakes. It's a multi-episode stand battle, and it was the battle that genuinely got me into the show at that moment and got me really excited about what the show would present for me in the future. But the thing is that those kind of battles only work when they're mixed in with action and like high velocity things throughout the show.
やれやれだわ、グース。あんた何にでも名前はあるって言ったわよね。私も名前をつけるわ。ストーンフリー。
You only have 12 episodes to like, you know, build and de-escalate the momentum. It's really hard to feel like you've gotten your money's worth out of that part when you're not really getting that equal exchange, in my opinion. Now, that being said, there were some things about this part that I really, really liked. I thought the addition of Anasai was a great addition to the show. We needed a love interest for Jolene that wasn't unreliable, for lack of a better word.
空女ジョリーンよ。俺は彼女と結婚する。それが条件だ。大爆弾。祝福しろ。
I liked someone who could analyze a battle situation, take it on with confidence, and guide Jolene through those battles when she was too in her head with her emotions watching her friends get hurt. He's kind of a stone-cold character from the very beginning. You know, people are a little wary of him, but he makes his intentions very clear early on and sticks to him throughout the season, and it makes him a character you can definitely trust and back. I also really like his stand diver drive. It's a really unique idea, you know, the ability to go inside of stuff and disassemble and reassemble it how you want. He uses it in some pretty interesting ways, you know, some could say twisted, but I just think it's pretty awesome for the context of what's going on. And anyone who's, you know, wanting to learn more of what I'm saying, you should just go watch the season, because his character is really interesting if you can get past his outfit. I also liked to see more evolution with the character Foo Fighters. Her character development has just been great, and I've loved seeing more fights with her taking charge and taking control of the situation. She almost has, you know, an almost infantile mindset in the beginning of the season, just because the entity that she represents is new to having its own consciousness, and so as she, you know, takes more control of the fights throughout the show, it's fun to back her up and really enjoy watching her fight and be in the show. It was also fun to see a little bit of our boy Dio. We love to see Dio, you know, he's the OG villain in the show, and it was nice to like see a little bit more development with how he mixes in with Father Pesci in the show. And that being said, Father Pesci also has some really cool development, but you get to see some more of his backstory and a little bit of his motivation that goes into his character and what his plans are. I may be screaming and crying a little bit about how Netflix has handled it. This is a really popular, long-running, beloved franchise, and I feel like they should take it a little more seriously. Obviously, I'm biased. I really like anime, and I really like this particular show, but you know, the fan base is pretty vocal about how they feel about the current situation, and I hope that they'll be able to take the lessons they learned with this particular part and don't apply the same mistakes to the next part, which is by far the most popular. Like, if they mess up the next part of the show, they're gonna have a very hard time holding on to any support that the fan base has. All right, so yeah, no, thanks for coming on to this particular episode. This one was probably my most like personal one. I love this show, and the injustices that have been done to it really hit me home. So I appreciate you coming on listening. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, and with all that being said, signing off.
てめえのつけば領収書だぜ。